Hey, party people. Just off the cuff, we're just calling this what you think about Prince. So, my man, the video we were doing back about 8.2 minutes ago, my man said something about Mr. Bell said something about the fact that Prince had epilepsy.
Yeah, he's an epileptic.
You could go on with it because I've never heard
Oh
that
no,
before.
I mean, from the little bit that I've read, yeah, he basically told his mother at some point. I don't know how old he was at the time, probably 6 or 7. I'm not sure, but basically he said that well, mom, I'm not going to let this happen again. It's not going to happen anymore. And from that point on,
Mm.
it didn't. So uh, you got to wonder what was it that he was able to get past for seizures and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the music that did it for him.
So,
As far as you see a lot of ticks and facial things that he makes when he's playing the guitar and going at it. I'm wondering if it was the music that actually did something for him. I don't know.
well, I mean, in some instances, we must have epilepsy at some point too, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I had to go
Oh
there, man.
man.
Anyway, anyway, well, that's interesting. So when they found him when he had passed away, he was taking was he taking pills for his pain?
Pain medication. Yeah, he had a bad hip.
Okay,
Over the years, if you can imagine, first of all, it's not natural for men to wear heels, although heels were something that men were the first ones to wear them. So, if
true.
you go back in the history of heels.
Hmm.
Um, and so, that and doing the splits, while he's dancing all the time, I guess it took its toll. So, what he refused to do was to have surgery because of the religion, the faith that he was, which was Jehovah's Witness. I don't know if he was ever baptized, but anyways, with Jehovah Witnesses, one of the things that they do not believe in is taking blood that's given from someone else. So
Really?
that could be something that he, I guess during surgery, the possibility of him having to do that, I don't know, but he chose not to do that. So he was taking pain meds for that. And fentanyl was what,
Yeah.
ended up doing him in. And I think from what I understand, it was an accident. It wasn't supposed to be. I don't know
Yeah.
if there was fentanyl that he was supposed to be getting or prescribed, but
Probably not. Probably
accidentally,
not.
and then that did him in. But yeah, man, what do you recollect was that brought you into Prince? I mean, we know the music and stuff like that, but I mean, what was it that hit you hard to be more hardcore into the Minneapolis sound and so forth?
White, black, Puerto Rican, everybody's just a
Just a
freaking
freaking, yes
good
sir.
times are rolling. That to me meant that people could be who they wanted to be,
Right,
whatever color they were, they could still have fun just like everybody else.
right.
And he had a perm. This brother was wearing G strings and T bottoms and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't think he's gay, but this dude is wild, man. And the music that he was putting out back then, controversy. I was really into Reagan, when he was talking about him and stuff. And to
Hmm.
me back then, Reagan was perfect, you know what I'm saying? And he could do no wrong. And then here's Prince talking about Johnny talked to Russia before it's too late.
Ronnie.
Or
Yeah.
Ronnie, my bad. So I'm like, man, and then everything else that was going on at the time, I was a young buck, but
Yeah.
still was quite aware, that somebody was talking about, just looking back, he was the only one that was actually pushing back.
Yeah.
And then with that, I started. That was right about the time that MTV and Video Soul and all them BET Video Soul came out, and then I started hearing Alexander O'Neal, and I'm like, man, this dude. Time used to listen to Time. Every song on that album was 15 minutes long. You could get your lunch done, you could get your project done, you could brush your teeth, take a shower, this song still be going. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I got in, and then realizing that all of them were together. That literally they were a machine themselves, just in one city.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. When I found out Terry Lewis was from Omaha, Nebraska, I'm like, what?
Went
You
to
know?
Central High.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom went to Central High. In fact, everybody that was cool went to Central High. I wasn't cool, apparently.
Okay.
You know,
Wasn't cool, I
I
guess.
wasn't cool. And then I was one of those guys back then that would always sing to the ladies on the damn phone, and so I had to know what the lyrics were.
Yo.
I had to know what the lyrics were. And
Hmm.
Lady Cab Driver and all that old stuff was going on, man, and Glam Slam. I'm like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't sing this, but but then Play in the Sunshine, Sign of the Times, I think was really hooked me. The song itself.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that really, really hit home because of, the atrocities that were going on and how ironic everything he was talking about was true, you
Yeah.
know. And then
Yeah.
Playing the Sunshine and Dorothy and then my favorite, If I Was Your Girlfriend, and then don't even get me started with Parade, because you know how I am with uh with the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yo, you just hit on something that I used to do.
under the cherry
Singing
moon.
on the phone, man. I would do whole concerts on the phone with
What?
somebody. I had friends, we would do like three-way calls, or sometimes it's just one person. They
Yeah.
wanted me to sing, so I would put his
Oh
album on
Lord, have
and
mercy.
get the phone right, and just be basically that Prince album right behind you, man, off to your left.
Which one?
That I would
Which one?
with the blue
Oh,
off
yeah,
to
yeah,
your
yeah.
left.
Your Prince. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that right there was a concert. Okay, I would be
yeah.
going through it, and then somebody hit me. Somebody asked me to sing something one time, and I hadn't heard the song "Irresistible Bitch."
Oh yeah.
Okay, that song, man, they had me singing that to them, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, and it was a trip. Man, them some days, man, singing on the phone, talk to somebody. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the best, some of the stuff that was really cool was, when we would go to the parties, and when we would go to parties and stuff, there would be music that I hadn't heard. And then I remember a particular girlfriend of mine getting the Black Album, and
Mm.
how you wanted it, and all that other bootleg music. Yeah, you ended up getting it, and all that bootleg music, she was getting it, and everything was so funky. And then that was right about when you and I started hanging out. That was when Batman came out, and I thought I was gonna
Oh
die
yeah, wow,
because
yeah.
we had the perm just like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I remember standing outside AMC theater.
Yep.
We were standing in line with these two females, and and
Oh, the Wonder
uh
Twins.
and it started raining. I remember it, man, the hair, my hair, had the hair all done up and stuff. And it's like, well, gotta tie it back into a ponytail or something, but had it all nice and pressed and ready to go. Yeah,
Did we go
no,
see? We
rain.
did we see Batman with them?
Yeah,
We
yes, we
did.
did.
Out
Yeah.
at Westro's, right?
Yep.
Westro's.
Yep.
Okay. 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 Well, how did you get into Prince?
Um, I have to say my mother. Um, she actually, had his 45 of 1999, and it just kind of went from there, man. I would sit and listen to that, and then the B side of it was How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore?
When did that come out?
And
When did 1999 come out?
1999 came out. I want to say it was 82.
You weren't into him when Bambi came out?
No, here's the funky thing about
Really?
that. No, here's the thing. I my ear, I hated hearing people sing falsetto.
Okay.
It was 1999 when I started listening to that album, and it was from there I started working backwards. And so, when I really started getting into him, and I realized, oh wow, he sings a falsetto. Something about the way he sang that falsetto was nothing like anyone else that I would hear, and I enjoyed hearing it. My ear was really
Hmm.
in tune with it. So yeah, I worked backwards from 1999. Then I found out about For You,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yep.
and so it's like, wow, Soft and Wet. Okay,
That
so
was, yep. That was my first song I ever heard. It was 79. It was going under 680 interstate bridge, and there was a UFO in the sky. I'll never
Oh,
forget
dang.
that. Yeah, I was
Dang.
with my mom. We were in her white Trans Am, 77 Trans Am. Yeah, we were. That was
Wow.
wild.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yep.
You know, and I have to say, I think, yeah, I worked my way backwards because I remember hearing controversy on the radio, but not
Hmm.
a whole lot, you know.
The edited
So
version. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, man, that was the beginnings of it for me. And
Wow. So
then, you
1999.
know, I remember we lived in some townhome
Yep.
that was 3 stories, and I would be up at the top and end up going outside to play with some friends, and they were all Prince fans and stuff. And so when I heard about Purple Rain coming out, then that really kicked it off for me.
Yeah. Well, I remember seeing the first concert with him, and I want to say it was down at the Civic Auditorium. Before
Mhm.
Civic's gone,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hella gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was that, or was yeah, I think it was, but it was packed. And I remember the initial band that was supposed to start the whole thing off. He came out. He said, "Well, I wasn't really feeling them, so I'm just going." He came out and did it. In their space at 7 o'clock. He came out and did an acoustic for an hour, and then he left.
What?
Yeah, then he left. Ed was with me. Shout out to Ed. But yeah, he was. So about half an hour later, he came out because we were like, man. I mean, we hoping he's going. Man, that brother stayed out there till almost 1:30. Man,
Man,
because we kept calling him back. He'd be like, he'd wave us off. We was like, oh hell no. We started, and he come back out. He ended up doing 3 encores. So it was close to 1 o'clock,
wow.
1:30, something like that, man. So we were there from like 7 to 1, basically, listening to Prince. And
Wow.
that was those tours that he was doing. I can't even remember what album that it was, tour that was, but he would always do Omaha and a few other ones around here just to see how it was going to go anywhere else. So it's kind of like a trial
Mhm.
and error, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Like
And
testing ground, yeah.
testing ground, yeah. And I went to two of them, but I don't remember the second one as much as I do the first one.
You know, it
I don't
wasn't
know where
until
you
I
were. You
got
went
out
to
here. Yeah, no, I hadn't been to I was mad, man. We
yeah,
would go to the Ranch Bowl and all that stuff. I hear about people going either to Des Moines to go see him or whatever. I couldn't get to a Prince concert to save my life. It's not until I got down to Florida that I
yeah.
actually was first time. But
Oh,
prior
really?
to that, yeah, yeah.
Dude, he used to
So
come to Omaha all the time.
I know, and I didn't have the money for it or
Ah,
something,
that whole
whatever
$6.
reason. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, or I couldn't get off work for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, yeah.
um, the first actual connection that I made, as far as not seeing Prince, but to see somebody who had worked with him was Morris Day when he came out with The Color of Success.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've been to anything close to a Prince concert.
Okay.
And I remember that concert was actually the first time not knowing the brother, but actually seeing Maurice.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was the
Shout
first time
out to
I'd seen him.
Maurice.
He was, yeah,
Yeah.
shout out, man. He was actually working a table,
Mhm.
and this brother had the hair, had his hair all done and long and hanging down, and I was just like,
Mhm. Mhm.
man, that's so cool. I wish I could do my hair like that because at the time I had this fro that was like, I want to say it
Oh.
reminded me of a hamster. Okay, so
Mhm. This
it
brother.
came out and up like this, and it was weird. And then the back, my hair wouldn't grow or whatever, so I had a shelf in the back. So I had no style. I was only too busy watching everybody who I could, wish I had style like. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, man. Yeah.
So, out of Prince, was there anybody else that you followed that was part of that Minneapolis sound? Did you branch off from there?
Well, I mean, aside from Morris Day and the Time, and then, eventually came the family and
Yeah.
I was following those groups. I wasn't following Andre at the time because I didn't really know.
Mhm.
And it just kind of, I kind of stuck to Prince just because you got a bit of everything from him as far
True.
as genres and so forth. And then, you start hearing about people that he collabed with, Sheena
Yep.
Easton,
Yep.
Sheila E. That
Yep.
was, Sheila E was another one, Glamorous Life, man.
Yep.
That when she came out, I kept on telling people, I swore up and down, I heard the song a year prior to it actually being released, because I know
Mm-hmm.
they would sometimes do tests and
Mm-hmm.
they would, play a song for a moment and then you didn't hear it again.
Yeah.
And so, Glamorous Life was something that I had heard. And then I started kind of following her and her come up,
Mm-hmm.
her father working with Carlos
Yeah.
Santana,
Yep. Yep.
percussion. And
Yep.
then, her working with Lionel Richie, which Lionel Richie, man, he I don't know what it was about him, but I think it was one awards when Prince performed Purple Rain, and Lionel Richie not he was getting a bunch of awards or something, and as
Mm-hmm.
well as Springsteen or something. But yeah, that was, those were the ones that I kind of followed from there on.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That my experience was all over the place because I remember Giorgio. Do you remember Giorgio? Good looking brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
want Tina's cherry. Tina's
Yep.
cherry. Boy. So from there, Alexander O'Neill, and then I fell in love with Wendy and Lisa. They were part of the old Revolution, and
Hmm.
then we started. And then Eric Leeds, I think he was the saxophonist. Was he a saxophonist? I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember.
saxophone player, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Madhouse.
yeah, and then Jimmy Jam when they took off and went started working with SOS Band. Started following them, and you know what? It just seems like they were part of M2 May, but I know they weren't. And Janet, when they started hitting up with doing stuff with Janet, then I fell off on that one and started to follow Herb Alford because of Keep Your Eye on Me,
Okay.
because some of
Okay.
that stuff was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And
Hmm.
then it was just I just branched out from SOS Band. I just branched out big time from everything, because all the music was funky. Only
Yeah.
Human League. Remember Human League?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And all that, some of that other stuff that you didn't. What was it? Stevie Nicks. He did one of them too. He
Yes.
was pitching music to Stevie Nicks too. She wasn't having it though. I mean, she wasn't interested in what he was putting out except that one song. But yeah, man, I was all over the place with it because I was just like, man, well, what are these dudes talking about, and what kind of music are they playing, and how expansive are they, and then we started working in producers and stuff like LA and Babyface, and then
Yeah.
finding out that those guys work with everybody else. It was like I said before, it was like a group. You could just pick a few of them out, then they go back in. It was kind of like Elasticash, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, that's how I got into all that stuff. And then as you well know, after oh the love what was it? I guess after Batman, I kind of fell off with Prince. You know.
Oh, okay.
Some
Yeah.
the Vault. I was into the Vault and everything. I met probably up to about 80 to come, probably up to come, the album.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then I just kind of scuttled back to the old stuff and whatnot. And I know you took off and went
Yeah. I kept
what
on
he
going
said.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, another thing that kept me listening to him is just because of whatever he was singing at the time. He was an escape for me.
That's what you said. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was an escape for me because, I'm going through either struggling through times or whatever, even as a kid before I got out on my own. It was an escape to be able to, listen to
Mhm.
his music and then also kind of feel like, you could relate in some way,
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
I mean, it gave you especially, and then when the movies came out and stuff, how a lot of the people, well, not a lot, but some of the people that we hung around, it's like they're using the lines on girls and stuff. It's like you
Yeah.
got this boost of confidence, okay, and you
Yeah.
would try to get your
Yeah.
eyes going and stuff,
Great.
checking them out,
Man.
and
Yeah,
something
man.
that was something huge for a shy guy like both of us were shy in a sense,
In a
and
sense,
so
yeah.
that
Yeah.
was huge. And you start feeling confident and talking to the ladies and stuff. I tried my best never to use one of his lines on somebody. That was a little bit too corny for me, but
Yeah.
but I would sing the music to him.
Yeah.
Remember sitting outside of Village Inn? Was
Man,
that
don't you
was
do
that
this. Do not go down this.
Hey, I remember sitting outside and we had those chicks that we had taught that we met at the club.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them was in the Air Force, and I'm sitting next to her. Her
Oh
name was
man,
Stacy. I don't believe I remember her name.
man, yeah,
Anyways,
man,
I'm sitting next to her and I'm singing Scandalous. You
yeah.
know.
I remember. I remember my brother. Yeah. Well,
Woo, yeah.
I got into Sherelle as well. Sherelle was
Hmm.
really big for me, and then it was just kind of I followed all the producers that were working with each other on one album or another, and then just went down the rabbit hole. I'm still going down the rabbit hole. I'm still finding, music that other people are working with. I just wish they had worked with Loose Ends, man.
Mm,
That was
yeah,
almost a something, and then someone acted stupid, and then it didn't happen. But
didn't happen. Yeah,
boy, man, that would have been on point. So anyway, man, well, I just figured, we should probably talk about Prince from time to time, or whoever and stuff who
yeah,
influenced us, who made us feel that certain type of way. At the end of the day, it's the Minneapolis sound, man, and it
yeah.
still resonates to this day.
Yes. Yep.
So anyway, well, people, I
All
know we
right.
probably rambled on. You might have had those same feelings and whatnot about it, but
Let us know in the comments. Tell us what you
definitely,
think. What did he mean to
definitely,
you?
definitely, man. He made me feel okay about being brown. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Because white, black, Puerto Rican, everybody, he just included everybody. And then don't let me get me started with Sheena Easton with
Oh,
her little
man.
fine self. Man, he got all these little honey dips that didn't look like us everywhere. And then he got one that did look like, man, come on now. Stop it. Stop. And then he get as he went on, he had a whole bunch of diversity. Pop, pop, pop goes a bit goes. What is it? Pop, pop, pop
Pop, pop,
goes
pop. Goes
pistol. Bang, bang, bang goes the gun.
the gun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was fine too. Stop
Nona
it.
Gay. Nona Gay.
Yep, yep. Yeah, then again,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep. And then Cat. I
Yep.
mean, Sheila E. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
He was
it's,
surrounded by it all. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was. He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made everything great about him because he involved everybody.
Everybody. Yes.
Everybody was
And that's growing up. That's what we looked for.
yeah.
We looked for that to be in that kind of crowd that was,
Yep.
it had everybody in it.
And
I
we
still
did.
look for that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, you tell him. We all are. We
Yeah.
just won't admit it, but we still looking for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, please. We had that for like 2 years, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Anyway, yeah, my bad. Anyway, all right, brother.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna close this up, man, and we'll put this out. And hey, guys, if give us some comments. Tell us what you was
Yeah.
thinking.
Talk
Tell us
about
where
it.
you were back in the 80s. Damion and I in 82. How old were we, man? 14? 14? Yeah, 14. 14.
About that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, my
let
math
us
ain't math right now, but yeah.
yeah, because 86 I was 16, so that makes sense. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell us where you guys were back then, how you got influenced to Prince and all that good stuff, and we'll just go from there.
And I appreciate, let me just say this real quick. I appreciate all the love you gave us for Housequake, man. We had no idea,
Everybody jumped up and
how
down.
everybody would jump on that. And so,
Yeah.
I see so many comments where people are reminiscing about actually being at the concert in Europe, or
Yeah.
some of them might have been there at the Paisley Park, for part of the recording. So it's really cool to
Yep.
see you guys reminisce on it and enjoy it. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, brother. My lips are tired. I'm done.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Hey, party people, thank you again for checking us out, and hit that like and subscribe, the bell notification, so when we put something new out. I hope you enjoy the new format too.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks, bro.
It'll get better. Now I'm gonna put my finger up for a peace sign. Hopefully the camera don't go crazy. So, all right, people. Peace.